This is not financial advice, it's just the wine talking.
Welcome back to It's Just the Wine. I'm Matilda, joining me, Mel, Tal, and Gassia.
Hello.
Hey, bonjour.
So today we're talking about the psychological forces of how we spend and why. But before we get into all of that, who's going to tell us a win?
I'll go first.
Go.
So I officially am doing an internship with this company, which is a marketing company and has a Broadway musical show. So I'm really excited about that.
That's so fun.
And I'm excited for my journey.
Win.
Yeah,
I'm
that's a
so
great
happy
passion.
for you.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Good luck.
I'll invite you to the show. It's in Toronto.
Ooh,
Girls'
I'll be
weekend.
there.
Girls' weekend, yes.
That would be really great.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So, do you guys ever stress shop when you're going through something, or do you never want to give up that phone that's falling apart?
A little bit of both has happened to me.
Sometimes.
To be honest, my phone bothers me. Like, if I need a new one, I need a new one. But I wait until the renewal of my contract.
Me, I smashed my phone so
Oh, yeah.
bad. I'm like, I'll just keep it, and it bothered everyone because my screen was so bad. I didn't mind keeping it until I renew, but everyone's like, no, just get a new phone, and I don't know why I did it.
You got screwed at the end.
I got screwed at the
It's
end.
funny because we have so many shoes, but we always want new ones, even though they're perfectly fine. But our phones are cracked, and we're not gonna go get a new one.
And it's something that you need every
You
day.
use it every day.
Every day.
It's your,
That's exactly what it is.
My
the
shoe, I literally clean it when it's dirty. I take care of it. It's good. It's white again. Okay, I'm good to go.
Yeah.
It's the psychology of money and spending and how there's so many things that affect it, I think, and in how each one of us spends money. It's super interesting. I think it goes even way back to childhood and your environment growing up.
Well, yeah, I think it's it's not about knowledge, it's about how you are and how you manage your emotions.
Yeah.
I feel okay, I'm just gonna talk about the financial aspect of it. It requires patience, discipline, and even it's a skill.
Yeah.
It's a skill you need because it's more than just what you want and what's in front of you, because spending is so easy. Spending is so easy because whatever you want is right in front of you. You can touch it, you can feel it, you can enjoy it right now. Mm-hmm. But having the patience to set yourself up for the future, for something that you can enjoy later, is super difficult. And I think a lot of people struggle with that, not because they don't want to achieve financial success, but it's because they struggle with that point.
Yeah, that's very true. And I think, but there's also a lot of things that affect that. Like what I was talking about with upbringing and early environment, I think that sets up your money mindset. The way you see your parents and your surrounding spending money, or what their relationship with money is, kind of subconsciously just sets it up for yourself. And then it's in your hands, whatever that is, whether that's amazing or, you need to do some work there. It's in your hands to keep the discipline to either change it or to keep it up. And that's where it's hard, when you have to do the work yourself. And it requires a lot of patience, because it's easy to go and grab something, but you need to pause, and that's
think of it,
part of creating the behavior and being aware of the psychology of it, to be wait, let me pause, let me think if I really need this. And it's one of the exercises that research has shown is the best way to spend money, is to pause before doing it.
Every time I go to Winners or Home Sense or anywhere, and I'm like, oh my god, I want this, and Taline comes in my head do you need it? Because every time I go shopping with her and I'm like, I'm gonna get this, she goes, do you need it?
The reason why I say that,
I'm like, maybe it'll come in handy one day,
yeah, because she buys, to be honest, she buys, she doesn't need it, but she wants to buy it because it's just easier for like kitchen tools, let's say. But the reason why I say that is because I'm so haunted by, not haunted, but like Mel Robbins kind of put that in my head, you know, like that sentence that she always says, stop spending your money on stupid shit. It's true though, like at our
I
age.
maybe need a one-on-one with Mel.
No.
I would love that.
Honestly, she's amazing. Like,
Gassia, stop buying stupid shit.
Yeah.
so like, you
But
know,
to the point, like what she said, because she's been saying it so much, you don't need it. Like sometimes I hear it when I'm shopping.
me.
Yeah.
Her voice.
Me.
Okay.
Because you've been saying it so much to
Oh.
her that
I mean-
it's playing a part in your behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you're the type to spend impulsively,
Yes.
like my sister.
Guilty.
But because of the people around you, you're trying to change it. And
Yeah.
that's amazing.
Well, she kind of took after my father. I'm like my mom. I'm more of a smart shopper. I like to look for deals. I don't like to you know, pay the full price. I kind of, it's in my head, and I'm so used to that I always have that in my mind.
But you see how you said exactly.
It's
what
my
I was-
discipline. I discipline my brain to not
Get it full
yes
price.
to purchase it right away. Think of it. Wait a second. Think if you need it. If you don't need it, do you need it? Do you want it? And then just purchase it.
But what you just said is exactly what I was talking about, how upbringing and your early environment has such a big impact, because you kind of gravitated towards your mom's
Yes.
money mindset,
Yeah.
whether when she gravitated toward her dad's. And
Sorry, Dad.
I mean, I spend the way my dad, or I used to spend the way my dad spends, and it's more impulsive. It's more, you know, I got this. You
Yeah.
know, it's more like that. Whereas she's more responsible when it comes to that. And I'm learning, and I'm taking more notes from her handbook. But
It's always the little ones, huh?
yeah, right.
The youngers.
No, but you know, from what
Taught
you're
us
saying,
so
like
much.
how you've been brought up by the mindset of your own family. So if you're doing something against that, they see it as wrong.
That's so true.
And sometimes you don't want to disappoint them.
Mm-hmm.
And that plays a huge part in how you spend as well.
And that's when also emotion when it comes to spending, takes over logic.
Yeah.
When you're buying something from emotion, like when the weather changes, something happens to me and I have to go shopping.
Like when it's wintertime or summertime?
When the season changes.
Oh.
I feel like I need a whole new wardrobe. Like none of my clothes fit me anymore. They do, but in my mind they don't. I make up the excuse, I have 2 kids, my body changed, and I come up with all of the reasons why I can go and buy a full new wardrobe for this new season. But it's emotional.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not logic by any means. And so this is where training the mind or retraining
Yeah.
the mind is difficult and takes a lot of work and conscious, like,
Be
decisions.
aware. But it's also, you need to be aware of what you truly want for the future. Like, is this little obstacle going to prevent me from having what I want, what that is, and I'm assuming we all want that, which is the highest form of wealth, is being able to control your own time. And to be honest, I have this one quote that I always like, it's brain wired in my brain, which is, your mind has to be stronger than your feelings. And I think everyone has to like put this in their brains, because it will snap you immediately back to reality.
It hasn't stopped.
And I use that quote all the time, like especially while investing, which is so important, shopping, anything that I do that has a financial aspect to it.
It's hard nowadays with social media. There's this whole identity and status. A lot of people spend not because of who they are, but because of who they want to be.
They want to be admired by other people.
It's
They
It's
want
like
to
that attention.
Yeah, they love that attention. They want to like.
yes, but also like if I dress a certain way, if I hold a certain bag, if I wear a specific shoe, I do actually feel better. you know? So there is that like mind game where it's like you have it's an identity crisis. I don't know what it is, but when I dress to the nines, I stand better, I speak better. And so I think this plays a huge role. And it's not just only like I don't do any of what I do for other people. I do it for myself.
You, yeah.
But
Not a lot of people think like you.
But it goes back to it's not necessarily who I am today, but who I want to be, you know, for my own self even. Not for anybody else's validation. And so all of that plays a huge role on how we spend money, because if I want to look a certain way or play a certain part, then I need to spend the money to look it, right?
Yeah.
And so you got to make the decision of, you know, this is actually, you had told me that someone had told you had bought a pair of shoes and someone had told you, but who are you to wear these shoes? And this, it goes.
But
We'll talk later.
I've had the surrounding around me, so which played a huge part in what I do and how I spend, because it made me realize, who am I?
Yeah.
To wear these shoes. I have no business. Well, back then, I was in university. Why would I be wearing this? I have nothing to show for myself.
So it's not about affording or not affording, because we could all go buy a $500 pair of shoes.
Or it could be fake. You never know nowadays. People wear fake and they're acting like it's.
But those
you know,
people are doing it for attention. They're not
Exactly,
even.
yeah.
They're
Social
lying to
media.
themselves. But this is social comparison, which a lot of people in our generation think like fancy cars, designer clothes is like a sign of wealth, which, in my opinion, that person just spends a lot. And I'm not saying that person can't afford it, but who knows what type of financial position they're in.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll never know.
Yeah, you will never know.
But my point was, like, we could all go buy a $500 pair of shoes. That's not the point. The point is, who are we? You know? And it's so deep, and that's where the psychology comes in, and that's where it's emotion and logic. That's where it's who I am versus who I want to be. And it's
true.
It's
I
a
was
mind
reading
game.
a book, and it was French, so don't ask me the name.
Who is it?
That it said, a person recommended it, and it was good. It said in the book that most millionaires around you will not be dressed head to toe in designers, but the celebrities will, because they're trying to promote the brand, not because they want to wear it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I agree with that.
And if you remove that from celebrity and the really wealthy, and you put it in our people, it's the same idea. We're promoting the brand, wearing these things. We could all get them, but for what are we actually doing?
Yeah.
Who are we actually?
Like,
and how can that money be put somewhere, whether it's a business, real estate, in the stock market, whatever it may be, where it could actually get you to the point of reaching some kind of financial freedom, where I promise you, when you do get there, you don't want any of this.
It'll come in naturally.
It's at a different level. The priority shift,
Of
and
course,
things are different.
But you'll have enough wealth to be able to do that like peanuts.
Yes, it'll be.
So that's the point.
Pocket
Not do it
change.
now, but do it later. But all this to say, like, yes, like, we're not saying to not spend on these things if you don't have it, or you've set yourself up. But we're saying, as young investors, all you need to do is stay consistent, start investing early, so you can eventually get what you want, whatever that is. And a lot of people downplay compounding. And to me, it's kind of odd, because if you start early and invest consistently, you're not going to see that in 10, 15 years. You're going to see it in 20 and more. And the perfect example is Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett attained 90% of his wealth after the age of 60. He was like, yes, he was worth $1 billion or something, but he is now worth over 100 billion just by investing consistently at a young age and not spending on stuff like this.
I think for me, it's
Sorry, and I saw that he lives in the same house for over
Yeah.
like 67 years.
his wealth changed, but
His lifestyle did not.
yeah. And I think for me, it's more for if you want to spend on these things now as young investors or young people, then that's fine. I think what's important when you're looking at the psychology of money is to figure out what matters to you. When you figure out what matters to you, then you just spend your money on that. What matters to you is to set yourself up for success on the long term, to reach financial freedom. So you spend there, and you spend there religiously, you know? And so what matters to me today versus what mattered to me 4 years ago is so different. And so the way I spend is completely different. So I think that what's important is for each and every one of us to do the exercise to figure out what matters to me. Is it really this? Is it really that? What is it? And once you figure that out, that's where you spend.
And I think a lot of people, like, enough is never enough.
Yeah.
You know? Like, everyone just wants more, the best of the best. And
It's society, unfortunately.
but it is. That's the
Social
thing.
media. That's just so many people nowadays. They're disconnecting from social media. It's just because it's too much.
It is so
They're
toxic.
like, do I have to get that purse? This person has it, and it becomes
Social comparison.
But like
Yeah.
Warren Buffett, sorry, like he's worth $100 billion.
Oh, I thought you were going to say he's 100 years old.
No, he's like almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah.
So when you're at that point, like why, like what do you do with that money?
100% agree.
You have so much money and you're like you
Just
don't want to
spend
like
it.
yeah,
But
you know?
he's truly doing what he really loves.
yeah.
It's not. He's not
Does he have
doing it
kids?
for the money.
Yeah.
wow.
And he's not even giving-
Really loves investing. Sorry.
And he's not gonna give his kids.
Yeah, I think he's donating it or something.
He's donating like 90%.
Because he didn't do it to acquire all that money.
Yeah.
Like to get all that money. But he did it because he absolutely loves investing. He loves it. He started at 10 years old with $100.
Wow.
$100 a month.
That's amazing.
At 10 years old, and by the time he was 25, I think he had $2,500, which is the equivalent of 100 grand here now. And by the age of 30, he had
2,500
$2,500, yeah, $2,500.
is the equivalent of like 100 now?
Yeah.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah. And by the age of 30, he had, I don't know exactly how much, but it's the equivalent of like 20 million today.
Wow.
But like at 10 years old, how do you know? Wow.
He was passionate.
Wow.
But I'm sure he was passionate, and he probably also had an environment
Yeah.
that allowed him to do that. Whether
No, he worked for it.
no, what I mean, you can't.
He learned
at 10
from
years old,
somewhere,
you can't
yeah.
have a brokerage account. So
Yeah, exactly.
So somebody was there with him, and whether that somebody knew anything about it or didn't, that somebody believed in him and believed in what he was doing, and they supported him, and they probably pushed him even further. You know what I mean? Your environment matters. Whether it's all you or
You know what that means?
or if you're a team, even if it's just you, your environment does matter because it shapes you.
Yeah. And
That's why they say like your net worth is your network. Like the people you surround yourself with, the people you have conversations with, the type of conversations you have with people.
And you know, I saw this thing, or I read it, I don't even know. Wealthy people are not afraid of talking about money.
And asking questions.
And which, like, makes you want to learn more and
Yeah.
do more and try to find out, like, because we're all, like, a team. We're going to help each other out. So why not, like, build? That's why a lot of people want to be friends with wealthier people, because they want to learn what they do, how they do it.
It's best not to be the smartest person in the
Yeah.
room. But I actually saw something I think it was a TikTok actually, that said when you're having a conversation with someone that's poor, they know everything.
Yeah, for sure.
Like you tell them, this is how you do this, and they'll be like, no, this is not how you do this.
Yeah.
When you're having a conversation with someone that's wealthy, they're asking questions. And they also want to know. They don't have all the answers, and they're not afraid to admit that. And to your point, it becomes this community of let's learn from each other, let's help each other, let's grow together, you know?
Yeah. And even if you're learning from somebody else, like if you're teaching somebody else, you'll learn something from that person as well. Like it's all like, because you don't know everything, and by together you can do so much more.
Yeah.
But yeah, all this to say, it's how we spend.
And spending is not just about money. It's really about meaning, memory, emotion, discipline, all kinds of things, and that shape us in the way we spend. So the more we understand our own psychology of money, the better we'll become at it.
Like, when did you start thinking about when you went to the store? Like, when did you guys first started thinking about whether I should get this or not?
Me, it started this year. I started to discipline myself more because before I was
Getting out
I was
of hand.
very emotional spending.
Me too. I think it was when I had my son, when I was 30. That's when I changed the way I spent. Before that, I would just get whatever I wanted because I could.
Yeah.
I wasn't putting myself in debt or anything, but if you listen to my financial journey, I didn't have any expenses.
You used to always tell me I can afford it.
Yeah.
Which I knew you could, because you could afford it. But to me, you know what that means? It means I've set my investments, and whatever I have left to spend is what I can afford.
So
It's not what I make I can afford. If I did that, I could afford a lot.
exactly. So up until then, up until I had my son, it was about I have the money. I wasn't thinking about the future. I wasn't investing. I wasn't doing any of that. So I could afford it today. You know what I mean? And but when I had my son, things changed for me. Like a lot changed. And so that's when I started thinking about the future. Up until then, it was about today, and that's about it.
You were saving for your retirement.
Yeah, whatever. Because that was like automated through my work. They were just pulling, but
But
it
also
wasn't
to say
anything
it's never too
intentional.
late.
It wasn't intentional.
Yeah. But
It's
it's never
not,
too
no.
late. Like, anyone can start whenever, and in 20 years you'll see everything happen
Yeah.
for you.
I'm still young. I'm not even 34 yet.
Yeah.
So
In 2 weeks.
it's okay. You're so young at heart.
Enough is never enough, and we always want more. But when we go to the bigger house, when we get that better car, get that more and more and more, there's more risk and there's more stress. I don't believe that like wealthy people are not stressed. Like, they are stressed to a certain point because they still want to manage their money properly, because it's very easy to blow off $1 million. It's easy for me, at least. Maybe $1 billion for you.
But
Yeah, it's true. To her, $1 million is nothing.
Yeah.
so I think that's where the discipline comes in. Like, yes, your level of wealth is growing. The hard part is to keep your lifestyle the same
Yeah.
when you're
Until you're set.
yeah, but I think even when you're set, if you upgrade your lifestyle to a certain extent, not to anything above and beyond, even if you could afford it, then I don't think you'll be stressed.
Yeah, 100%.
You know?
But
But
I
it's
don't.
human
I don't.
nature.
Yeah,
It's
I
human
don't believe,
nature.
unless you're like, you're different. Then you won't up. But what's the point? What's the meaning of life?
Then
Like,
that's
it's happiness and
yeah, but then that's when like the freedom of like time and what was the
So
saying?
you do a lot with that free time. That's you.
But you can do a lot more when you have less, I don't know. We're getting into a different conversation. But there was this saying in that book I love, the Almanac.
The almanac.
Happiness is when...
Oh, happiness is when you remove the sense of something missing from your life.
Yeah.
And it's so true.
That one line has like really, I don't know, changed my life, I think. It's so deep and it's so true.
Yeah.
And on that note,
Cheers.
Well,
cheers to
Cheers,
happiness.
Cheers.
Cheers to happiness.
Cheers, guys.
like,
Subscribe, comment, share, follow.
comment down below what you think.
About emotional spending.